is the Artist Coaching Podcast.
Yo guys, what's up? Jesse and Ozan from ANOTR.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem. I was, we were talking about it before. It's a funny how we got here actually, because I was talking to the girlfriend of Jesse, and then she told me that Jesse booked me about, what was it, 7 years ago?
Yeah, at least maybe 7 till 10 years, even like a long time ago.
Yeah, really long. And then she told me that you're a part of the successful duo ANOTR right now. And I was just really interested in how you guys done all the things in the last few years. I wanted to have a chat with you, so that's why we're here.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so first of all, can you give a small introduction, both of you, for the people who are listening right now?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll start off. My name is Ozan. I'm 23 years old. I live in Amsterdam, and I met Jesse maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. And ever since we built on, first we started off with another project that was more, just two guys having fun, making music. Mm-hmm. And after a while, stuff just got more serious, and we decided to start a new project called ANOTR.
Yeah.
And that worked out really well for us.
How long is that ago?
I think about 3 years now, Jesse.
Yeah, I think we started ANOTR in October 3 years ago. We kicked it off with our Defected EP, and from there things just got really interesting and really serious.
What was your first EP called? Which track?
It was Strobe EP.
Mm-hmm. Strobe EP. Okay, cool. And you've started 3 years ago. That's not a long time at all. Most artists have their most successful period about like 5 years, 6 years later. You told me that the first release was on Defected, right?
Yeah.
How did you guys end up there so quick? Because normally that takes a lot of time before you get to a big label, and you instantly got there.
Yeah, Jesse, you take it from me, man.
So we started Piotr and Son, which was our alias before we started ANOTR, and we were releasing a ton of music, or we were making a ton of music just behind the screens. And when we thought like we wanted to take it to the next level, we just kept the music for ourselves. We got a manager who was really good with Defected as well, and he sent it to Defected. They were like, "Yeah, let's go for it." And from there, things just really kicked off for us, and we got introduced to our scene.
Cool. Yeah. So it didn't have anything to do with any social media, like you had a big reach or whatsoever. It was all about the music.
No,
it was all about the music, and as we just started off as the new project, we felt like it was a perfect start to release on such a huge label, because you'll get a lot of exposure, of course, because it's a
you get a kickstart, I can imagine.
Yeah, exactly. And our managers told us like, okay, so keep it quiet for now, and then just in 3 months you'll see the first international gigs will come. And right, the third month was the first UK gig actually, and after that just the bookings came in, and it's crazy.
Cool. And how did you find your manager? Is he a friend of yours or someone that you knew from the industry, or?
No, we got music sent over to Armada maybe 2 years, or even maybe 2 till a year before we got music signed to Defected. Mm-hmm. And then a friend of us who was working at Armada, he sent it to a manager, and he got us in touch with Defected. So that's how things went from there.
Okay. And when did you guys decide to get a manager? Because normally, you wait pretty long before you get a manager, because it's pretty expensive, of course.
The thing was, because we had so much music laying around, we wanted to, get the maximum out of our capabilities. Mm-hmm. And because we had a friend in the scene who was connected with those guys, they told us they were interested, and things just went along, and after a while we just decided to work with them, and it worked out pretty well.
Okay. And did you thought it was because you had an alias, right? Are you still doing that right now, or did you stopped it?
No, it was just a complete switch from the previous project to ANOTR. Just a fresh start. We felt like we were going under a certain name, especially here in Holland, as more of the party DJs, just playing all sorts of music, and we didn't really have one sound yet, and I don't think we still have one sound yet, but we wanted to define our music a bit better, so that's why we said, okay, let's start off fresh, and especially with a release and the fact that worked out really well.
Okay, and were you in the same music genre with that alias, or was it also completely different?
Yeah, it was quite the same actually, but just because we had like an image in Amsterdam or just around Amsterdam as like, you know, like you were saying, party DJs. Mm-hmm. We just wanted to start off something with a more serious.
So it was kind of a rebrand actually.
Yeah, exactly. You could call it that.
Okay, and did you think it was? Did you find it hard to enter that industry? As in, I think we can call it kind of underground music. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was like at first it was a bit trying to find your way, trying to find your place. But we were really lucky with the first EP. We got support from all the biggest names in the industry, like from all the old school heroes like Armand van Helden and Kevin Sanderson, to all the new guys like Josh Butler, for instance, and that really gave us a lot of confidence to just keep going and build up from there. And we were really lucky that we had a bookings agency behind us, David Lewis, and they really supported us and really tried to get us places as well. So yeah, I think we just got a good crew around us who helped us build our brand.
Cool, yeah, good timing, of course, and good lots of attention all at one moment, which is great, of course. Exactly. You mentioned Armand van Helden. You guys made a track with him, I guess, after you released the first track, of course.
Yeah.
And how did that collaboration end up?
Well, actually, we made that track, I think, probably in the same time as the Strobe EP, mm-hmm. and we made the track, and we found that when we played it out at our gigs, the people went crazy to it. So we decided to give it a try. But obviously, because it's a huge sample, you need a clearance and stuff. Mm-hmm. So we just sent it to Armand van Helden, to his management, and asked him if he would be willing to do it as a collaboration, and he was up for it. So that's how it ended up as a official release with Armand van Helden.
Cool, that's a big one, man. And mm-hmm. I can imagine that track gave you a lot of attention as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
I played it as well. That was during. Yeah, I played it as well. Pretty much. Really? Nice. Still loving it.
Nice.
It's a golden oldie.
Thanks.
And during your career, like we live in 2017, and we can't think of a world without social media. How important has social media been for your career, and it is still right now?
It's a really important tool, of course, because you really want to let people show how you're doing and how well you're doing, especially. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's one of the most important tools right now, because it's kind of your how do you call it? Visitekaartje? I don't really.
I don't know, man. Name tag, name
invitation,
card?
like invitation card or anything.
Yeah.
Like it's a way to show people what you're up to, and to really get people involved in what you're doing. So we spend a lot of time on it and making sure it sends the right messages. It shows exactly what we want people to see, and it takes a lot of effort and time. But I think it's a cool tool to really get in touch with the audience and the fans.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any like strategy behind it? Like, do you think of a plan, or is it just go with the flow and see what we post today?
Well, no, actually, like we mostly build around releases, and next to that, just big shows and just shows in general. We try to keep it as clean as possible and as natural as possible, and so we build on towards, like for instance, we have a release in 2 weeks. We would say like, okay, so now we post like the announcement of the artwork, and then next to that we just post like videos of us playing it out, or others playing it out, to get a hype going. Mm-hmm. And then on the release date, you'll see like the the exposure and the sales of the track and music is just way bigger than if you wouldn't have done it, you know.
Yeah, so pre-sales are pretty important to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And I also saw that you guys use a lot of videos on your socials. Like, is there any strategy behind that, or is it just coincidence?
Like, how do you mean which videos? Like party videos?
Well, normally you can post like text, photos, or videos, and I see a lot of videos on your site. So I'm not sure if that was a choice or just
Yeah, we feel people love to watch something. They love watching more than reading, you know, in this day and age, and that's why we tend to just post videos or photos and never really a lot of text or anything.
Okay, and do you have someone who edits all these videos for yourself, or do you do it yourself?
Well, sometimes if for instance, if we have like a party video going, so we played at a party, and then we sometimes rent someone to do it for us. Mm-hmm. But it's also done by just iPhone cameras, or if we do visual lenses ourselves as well. So
cool.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the moment, and it depends on the quality of the video. So if you'll see like a really cool video of us playing at a huge gig, then it's probably rented by we just probably rented someone. But it just depends, man.
Cool. And did you, like, if I hear this, you hire someone to do it for you, of course?
Yeah, exactly.
And it sounds like a business, no? Did you ever imagine there was so many things aside doing the DJing and the producing part?
I think it's at first you don't really look at it that way. You just think about making music and doing shows. Mm-hmm. But once you get involved in it more and more, you see it's more than that. You know, sometimes you go through days that you couldn't even touch your music because you're just doing business related stuff or press related stuff, and it's you'd rather just be making music 24/7. But it's a reality now that an artist can't just be an artist. He has to be a marketing manager, maybe even a label manager. You know, he needs to know everything from almost every business. Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
And when did that moment came to be? Are you doing this full time right now, or are you still having a side job?
Yeah, this is all full time. I studied last year still, and I stopped studying this year. So it's full time music, man.
Wow, that's nice, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dream.
That's the dream.
Cool. And I also noticed that you guys release your music on Spotify, of course, since it's one of the biggest platforms at this moment. What's your opinion on releasing music, as in which platform is your focus right now?
I think our main focuses are Spotify and Beatport. Mm-hmm. Beatport is a really good tool to get involved with the bedroom DJs / producers that want to play out your music, and also the bigger artists that want to play out your music. People go there to see what's hot and what's going on. So that's a really good tool to get involved with that. But Spotify is more for just the consumers, people that like to listen to music. That's why we're doing mixes on Spotify, making playlists on Spotify, and I think it's taking over a lot of the action from SoundCloud at the moment.
Yeah, I noticed that you guys are putting up your 6 mixes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the idea behind that?
So Your 6 is we just wanted to do a mix series on Spotify, and Your 6 is just how you say it. It's just 6 tracks. It's what we like, and it's 6 tracks that we put out every single month or other month, I think. Mm-hmm. And which is it's just music that we like at the moment, music that we are going to release that comes out on our label, and it's just to show people what we're into at the moment. So
cool. And how is this being arranged? Because I can imagine that a lot of other DJs, producers who are listening right now are thinking like, what the fuck, I want this as well. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think you can do it all alone by yourself as an artist, right? You need a label to arrange it for you.
Yeah, so Armada is doing our distribution, and and is involved with our label No Art, and they help out with all these kind of things. They're a big label, got a lot of people working for them, in good relationship with Spotify as well. So they said, hey, Spotify is really keen on getting involved into the mixing things and taking it over from SoundCloud, more or less, because that's where SoundCloud still has a big name, even though they're leading a lot of mixes now. But I don't think it's really easy to do it without a big label on your side.
Okay, and to make
Not yet.
And to make things clear, it's a continuous mix, right? It keeps on playing without.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't have your Spotify or Shuffle, then it will play continuously. So
cool. Yeah. And do you need to license the tracks before you put out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can't do it without licensing.
Okay, so you guys send out, like, let's say 20 tracks to the label, and the label is going to test which one is going to be able to be licensed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's going to be the your 6 mix.
Exactly.
Yes.
Cool.
Exactly.
It's a cool platform. Nice one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's getting started. I think it will take a while before it really takes off, but it's a cool thing to be here early before SoundCloud maybe makes it easier to make mixes for other people as well.
Definitely, and I think about a year ago, maybe even longer, Spotify announced that they were going to do podcasts. And they already do podcasts, but only like the biggest ones out there. Yeah. But I think that's really interesting as well, to have just one platform where all the music related things come together, as in podcast, live mixes, single plays, all those things. I think that will be amazing if everything is going to work out the way they want it to.
Yeah, I guess that would be nice, but with all the technology developing at the moment, you never know what's coming, what's next. So let's just hope it works out that way.
Yeah, that's true. And is there any special tactics you have with Spotify? Like, do you have a big network yourself of playlist owners, or like how are you into networking at all? Like without Spotify, or do you guys do one-on-one networking, like person to person?
Our label manager, who works at ANOTR, who we are in really close contact with, we sit with him quite often, and we selected a lot of playlists that we want to send our music to early, so they can put it in their playlist and we can maybe promote their music. And I think that's a really good way to get your music a big audience on Spotify. But we're not doing it by ourselves, like someone else is doing it for us right now.
Okay, and besides Spotify, are you still doing the one-on-one person networking, or is it all online nowadays?
Yeah, we do that. It's well, obviously you also do it online, but like for instance, when we're partying or whatever, we just go to talk to someone, just show your face, say hey, how you doing, and just talk whatever he's working on, whatever we're working on, and and so you get to know each other. But it's not necessarily just focusing on networking, but just being a human,
being a nice human. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And how do you think that's like a key to success when it comes down to your career?
Yes, definitely. You need to talk to people to get to really know you and to really build a relationship with people. It's the best possible way to do that.
So talking to someone and being a nice guy is
just being yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a funny thing, because when I quit DJing and producing, I started asking people why someone gave me an opportunity during my career. Like, why did I got signed to that agency? Why did I get this big label? And everyone said, because you're a humble guy. And then I started thinking, like, okay, and I always thought it was something else, like they needed something from my side or whatsoever, or they wanted to lift from my social media reach or whatsoever, but it wasn't that. It was just being a nice guy and being yourself.
Being a nice guy, and being a nice guy takes you far. And then if the music's right, if the whole look is right, then people will start noticing you're that nice guy with good music.
Yeah.
And then
in the end, it's all about the music.
Yeah, of course.
It always is, and it always will be, I think.
But it's always nicer if you're also a nice guy on the side.
Definitely, nobody wants to hang out with an asshole.
No, exactly.
Hey, and you guys also started out your label No Art. And when did you guys decide to start with this, and why?
So we started it in February this year. So it's really fresh still, but we got a lot of good releases already, and we started with our own releases. And we started the label because in the underground scene there's a lot of artists that have a label, and these artists are touring almost every on a monthly basis. And when you send them tracks, it takes a long time before they reply, and it takes a long time if they want to sign it. Then it takes a long time to get back to you with a contract or anything, and it just takes a long time before you get anything released. And I feel now in this day and age, it's really important to have a constant flow of music coming out, because the lifetime of music right now is pretty short. So we just decided together with Amada. They said, "Hey, do you want to do your own label?" We were like, "Yeah, let's go for it." And we didn't expect it to pick off like this, because we were just planning on releasing our own music for a while. But it really kicked off, and now we got other artists involved as well. Yeah,
it's doing really well. So you have someone else who runs it for you, and you guys are doing the ANOTR, or?
Yeah, that's mainly it. Yeah.
Cool. And how do you get like the other artists? Do they reach out to you, or do you proactively go search for someone to sign? Or?
Well, at the start of the label, we decided just to do our own label and do our own music. And after a while, we got most of our tracks got into the charts of the Beatport top 100. So that gives you a lot of exposure. So after a while, when we set the tone of the label, we started reaching out to people, started reaching out to other artists, started reaching out to artists we already knew, who we are good with, and that also comes with the networking we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And we started reaching out to them, and because they saw like, okay, so the label is doing well, the look is cool, because we also do our own styling of the label.
Yeah, I saw one of the videos from your latest single release. It was on your own label, right? The Issue?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a really cool track. I really like the vibe of it, because it's somehow I can hear the old sneakers vibe in it,
Yeah, that's what we were going for.
Like that simple.
We grew up listening to Nope is Dope and Sneakers as one of the first things we got our house music
That's
from.
Probably the period when you booked me.
Yeah, yes.
7 years back, something like that. That was Sneakers, yeah. But when I listened to the track, I was like, oh, that's that minimalistic kind of cool vibe again. I like it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that was our inspiration for the whole track as well. And I think it's cool to, because we're people from the Netherlands, and we get this from our own Dutch heritage. It's cool to bring that back into the modern tech house scene.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'm up for it. I'm all up for it. It's
nice
really cool. And you have someone running the label for you, of course. But how much time does it cost you? Like, do you spend a lot of time thinking about the label, working on the label?
Yes.
Is it like 50-50? So 50% label, 50% another, or?
No, I think it's more or less. I think it's really hard to talk in these terms, because making music you don't really see as a job or anything. Yeah. But I feel it takes a lot of time just putting effort in the label, like thinking what to do next, getting in touch with artists, sorting out new music, and making sure that we have the right strategy for the coming months. And it takes a lot of effort, but I wouldn't say it's a 50-50. 50-50.
Okay, cool. Well, guys, I just want to thank you so much for this conversation, because it was really nice talking to Jesse again, and I never met Ozan. Ozan was it, right?
Ozan, yes, yeah, Ozan.
Okay, never met you in real life, I guess, but was really nice meeting you, and really inspirational to hear your story about how you became so successful. I want to wish you best of luck in the future. And is there anything you wanted to say to people listening right now, or giving them a motivational quote or whatsoever? Just go ahead.
Work hard, play hard.
Yeah, get shit done.
Cool, man. Yeah, and in the end, it's all about working.
Definitely,
Yeah.
you got to put in the hours if you want to see the reward.
Like, how many hours do you guys spend on the total business every week? Like, is it 40,
Well, we
80?
got the thing
At
is,
least-
yeah.
At least 60, 70, 80. It's just, you
Just-
wake up,
You wake up, you go to sleep. You go to sleep with it. So
Cool. That's the way to do it. Work hard.
Definitely. Thanks for having us, man.
No problem, man. Thanks, guys, and hope to see you guys somewhere in the future.
would be
Cheers.
cool, man. Thank you.
Bye.